Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 58. My name is Craig Perales, and joining me is the yin to my yang, Gino Perales.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Are you?
Glad to be on the show.
Didn't you do knock a couple games around today?
Hey, I got the call on the back nine, but I stepped up to the plate.
So guys, normally Andrew would be on the show as normal, but he has some family things he has to do. He has to take care of. So Gino's with me today. He's been on the show before. You know him. You love him, but that one catch you off guard, mister? Hey, there'll be none of that around here, you rough stallion. So, guys, we like to drink beers around here, and the beer of choice was selected by none other than the Yang himself. And this is the Oak Creek Brewing Co. Nut Brown Ale, sitting at a 5.5%. It's going down smooth. I kind of wish Andrew was here to taste it because I think he would actually like it. So
yeah, it's a funny story. I submitted the beer just randomly, like you guys do, not knowing I was going to be on the show today. Happened to work out. So this is a beer we used to drink all the time back in Flagstaff. It's a local Arizona beer, so I figured they'd try it. I know Andrew hasn't tried it, so I really want to get his reaction on it.
We'll save one. These are what, in Sedona?
Brewed out of Sedona, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they go down quite smooth. They're a micro brew. I like them. They're not overpowering.
Beer.
Yeah, you'll be spitting brown by the end of the night, Buster.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
So, moving into the topics, guys. I do gotta say, if you're gonna request beers, because Chet, I'm pointing my finger at you, pal. It was a Chasing Tail Golden Ale. I'd love to have it on the show. I'd love to drink it. But if we can't find it, we can't obviously get it. So, if you guys do request a beer, make it something that's gettable.
You've gotten from a store here, you know it's doable.
Well, even if you don't live here, make it something that's not locked behind Seattle Market or Florida or something like that. Make sure Arizona can get it.
Yep.
So, moving into today's topics, guys. Ghost of Tsushima had a big announcement. That is a game that recently came out on July 17th. It's a PS4 exclusive. It is on so the PS4 just by itself, and it's produced by or developed by Sucker Punch Studios. Those are the guys that made Infamous and Sly Cooper. Now, the game itself is a single-player narrative going around Japan. You're pretty much playing Jin while the Mongolians are invading. By the Mongolians. So, what happened was on August 17th, senior game designer of Sucker Punch Studios, Darren Bridges, let this announcement out. And this is on the PlayStation blog. So, if you guys do want to read the full article, the link is in the description down below. And he said, "Today I'm very excited to reveal Ghost of Tsushima Legends, a new online cooperative multiplayer mode that will come as a free download for Ghost of Tsushima owners on the PS4 later this year." Excuse me. Legends is an entirely new experience. It's a separate mode that doesn't follow Jin or the companions from his journey, but instead focuses on 4 warriors who have been built up as legends in the stories told by the people of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima's single-player campaign focuses on an open world and exploring the natural beauty of the island, but Legends is haunting and fantastical, with locations and enemies inspired by Japanese folktales and mythology and an emphasis on cooperative combat and action. So, this is just night and day compared to what the first one was. The first one was a good single-player campaign. I've beaten it. I locked myself in my room, beat it in 2 days.
Yep.
It's so far as my game of the year. The fact that they're announcing free multiplayer in less than 5 months is just unheard of.
Yeah, I haven't got to play it myself. Typically, when we do get PlayStation games, he'll play it, hard copy, I get to play it. He fucked me on this one. He bought it digitally, so we're going to have to switch out our PlayStations or work some things. But based on everything, reviews, this game is complete fire. So for them to be able to do a multiplayer experience that fast, and if it's on par with what's already being shown, the big takeaway, too, is he specifically wanted to say that it's because fans have such good feedback. A lot of people are streaming it. So there's a lot of good coming from this game. So hopefully this pans out well.
Yeah, so he goes on to say, "We designed Legends to be an exclusively cooperative gameplay experience, to be able to partner up with friends or via online matchmaking and play Legends in groups of 2 to 4 players. Each player can choose from one of 4 different character classes: the Samurai, Hunter, Ronin, or Assassin. Each class has unique advantages and abilities that we'll reveal in the future. So it goes on to kind of explain what they do. So if you can play the game two player, and you can do new story missions and you can do survival missions. But once you hit the 3 and 4 player, you can start doing raids and you can start doing these waves of enemies that can vary in difficulty. So the fact that they're taking a game that had no longevity outside of you beating the story and going, hey, not only is it free, but it's coming by the end of the year. I don't know how this skated by without anyone rumoring it before this thing dropped. Because it was like was it Apex Legends? Like it just popped up one day and we're like, oh shit, this is happening.
Yeah, and you got to think, did they have this planned ahead of time, or was there such good feedback that maybe that's why they do it? Because for them to release it that quick, you got to think maybe they had it in their arsenals, and if they did, for them to keep it under wraps as long as they did,
yeah, as tight as they did,
very good. One of the key things that came out in here was the rage. That's definitely gonna be a reason I'm gonna play it. It's the reason I play a lot of games like that. Is I like the teamwork, I like doing that. So for me to have a PlayStation game to be able to do that exclusively on is gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really fun that they can take something. This is what PlayStation does so well that makes people buy PlayStations, and no knock against Xbox or Nintendo or anything like that. I mean, Nintendo is pretty much all exclusive titles. Xbox is Xbox is catching up. PlayStation has this thing of making these great games that are must buys. So now, if you weren't going to buy Ghost of Tsushima to begin with because it's just a single player, or maybe you own it and you're getting ready to trade it in, they're going, hey, either stop and don't trade it in, or check this out. If you don't want to do that, you can get the online experience. If you're someone that likes to be in co-op, then it's saying, because it's not just an add-on, it's a completely separate experience. You don't need to play the other game to enjoy this, because there's games that came out like the Uncharted expansion that where you're playing the 2 females, or even like Far Cry 5 New Dawn, where it's an extension of the original game. This is essentially a standalone thing. All you would have to know about is just who the characters are if you played the original one. So the fact that they're keeping, I mean, I buy it all digital anyway, but you now have this game that's now going to have legs for a while, and that's what you want. You want people to be that ecosystem
out of a single-player game that most games don't get to do. And when we were reading it, it shows that the main game was kind of grounded in realism. It seems like the expansions are going to have a little bit of the mysticalism. They've created new enemies that you're going to be able to fight. New characteristics just weren't in the first one. So if they do it right, I mean, you get a banger on both ends, which is going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, this game was actually did quite well. It's an 83% on Metacritic. People were reviewing it saying it's got and I played it. It's got spectacular visuals. It's got awesome customizable combat, which is going to be cool. Seeing those 4 different types, how they're going to respec them to make the samurai stand out as a soldier versus the assassin as like DPS. But I guess their biggest gripe was the traversing of the map system. So if you're going to take that out, and now the game's based on these waves and raids, they eliminated the only criticism I've read that fans had, and now they're making it co-op and focusing on what the fans like. So to me, it's a solid win, and another reason to own a PS4 and buy their online service. Pay for their online service.
I'm going to have to buy one.
You're going to pay. You're going to borrow mine, and you're going to play. Anything else you want to add on that? I mean, you're going to borrow mine because I want you to play it, but I'm definitely going to go back and re-familiarize myself with the combat. I mean, it comes out at the end of this year. It's just nuts. Most DLC or things like that come out 6 months, a year after the game, right? They want everyone to buy it, as many people to buy it at once as they can, and then extend that, and then they come out with the extras. This thing's coming out, the announcements a month after the game just launched.
Yeah,
so impressive stuff.
Unprecedented, very fast, very secretive. There's a lot of quality being added, so it's...
Yeah, solid move on Sucker Punch, and another win for the Sony catalog. So let's move on to the next one. So if you guys are liking indies, or you're a big Nintendo Switch fan, Nintendo just had the Indie World on August 18th. That was a 23-minute long showcase that showed over 20 different games from different developers. Overall, solid show. What were your initial thoughts on it?
Very impressed. They went at a pace that was, I think, well timed. We got 20 plus games in this, and the video's 23 minutes. So I mean, they were literally like, you have 37. They were going. So I think they learned a little bit from the Xbox show, learned a little bit from the PlayStation show. That they showed us good gameplay on a lot of games. The stuff that was where people were talking and kind of walking through was very quick. Hey, bam, 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 and then off to the next one. So they did a really good job on the presentation.
Yeah, I think some of it was a little cheesy when they had kind of the back and forth with the guy and the girl talking about a couple games.
Hey, play.
But that wasn't on everything. Yeah. I mean, some of it they breezed by. What I liked is they Because I normally don't like when big studios, AAA studios, are behind the scenes and they're talking about the making of the game and how grinding it was. It's
Takes
like,
you out of it.
Yeah, it's like you guys are a big fucking studio. We know this is what you get paid to do. I make the exception when I get to watch some interviews and stuff with the independent guys, the guys that have been doing these 4-year passion projects and getting it done, and then when you look at the game, you're like, wow, that looks really good.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you guys 2 games that stood out to us. Again, the link will be in the description if you want to check the whole thing out, because there was tons of good stuff. So no disrespect if we don't pick the game you thought was the best, but these ones caught our eye. What was your first one?
So one that stood out the most was the first one. It has a badass anime opening. I mean, even if the game didn't come, give me the show, because that looked legit. But it ended up being called Hades. So for those of you who don't know, my gamer tag is Hades928. I'm big into Greek mythology. He's Zeus98, so that one just immediately resonated for me. It's an action dungeon crawler from Supergiant Games. System debut. It's already on PC, but this is the first time console players get to play it. But basically, like a little Diablo game. So, I mean, you're able to hack and slash, get through. Whenever you die, you come back stronger. You get to traverse with other people in Greek mythology. So, just every single thing I would want that game to be seems like it's kind of hitting.
Yeah, I liked it because one of the ones they were showing was like you got to talk to Achilles and stuff like that. Because the game is meant to be hard. The concept is dying, getting stronger, replaying, learning new secrets, finding new passages. It looked really cool to me. And yeah, with Hades in the name, hey, you got to play it. You got to play it, pal. So my game was, the first one was The Spiritfarer. And this was by Thunder Lotus. Again, this had a nice little anime kind of intro. So the story revolves around Stella, and she's bringing these life forms to rest. Because all of them are these animal-based spirits. I don't know if that's intentionally she's bringing animals to the thing, or if it's just by their spirit in nature, and she's putting them to pass, and so you're gaining friendship. You're sailing on this handcrafted boat. It looks like you get to customize it, so not only are you traversing on the seas, but you actually get to explore some lands, and it looks like it's going to have some powerful teary-eye moments, because even at the end when she's hugging, I think the lion is the last one she's hugging, and he disappears from her arms. I was like, ooh man, it doesn't take much to make these eyes water, and I was already just like, so that looked really good. And yeah, handcrafted bow. It is coming out today. So by the time you're watching this, it's out. It's on the Switch, but it's also on the Game Pass. So if you guys are, I haven't checked on PlayStation, but if you're on Xbox, it's on the Game Pass. So download it, check it out.
If you played Indivisible, it had that kind of artwork style to it. I mean, it looked really similar.
I mean, this is hand-drawn quality shit we're talking
Anything
about.
that's hand-drawn, I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Next one for me would have been, I think it's Raji. It's an ancient epic. Game by Nodding Head Games and Super.com. It is it had like a Diablo kind of Prince of Persia look. You're all based in that kind of lore, like everything, the art and the architecture is just on point. And we were kind of watching the series. This was a later one in the thing, but you have all these games that are popping, colorful. Like this game's graphics kind of really stood out on a system that doesn't really matter, but it looked really, really good. Like we were talking, it looks like a PS3 kind of game. Like it looked.
It's definitely the most detailed out of all of them. Like, where all the ones are kind of flashy or maybe designed more toward kids or certain color palettes, this thing was it just looked, there's definitely time on this game. Yeah. This could be, this might win, my guess, that might win like the Indie of the Year or something like that as soon as it drops.
Some of the bosses look...
And if I'm not mistaken, the whole team is all women.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Attention to detail.
Yeah, because what it is, it's trying to show the diversity that women can make games, and I would say that was probably the best looking game in the showcase.
That one stood out the most to me, and like I said, some of the bosses fights that kind of look like God of War 1, where they're super huge. Yeah. And you got to do it, and they showed cool customization kind of her weapon, so this game looks like it has it all. We didn't get a ton of gameplay, but what we did get, like, I want more, I want to play it.
Yeah, definitely. So, the last game I have for it is the game called Evergate by Stone Lantern Games and P-Cube Limited. It's this dreamlike 2D platform is the way they described it, set in the afterlife, and you're playing this character named Key, who's wielding this soul flame mechanic that allows him to stop time and kind of acquire these other abilities, or at least affect other things. First glance, you're looking at this, I thought it was a fucking sequel to Ori again. I'm like, we're getting the Ori 3, like, this fast. But it's not, and there's no harm in that. It looks like it, and the fact that we're getting more games like Ori, I have nothing to complain about. It looks great. It's, you're bouncing around. It's obviously a platformer, but Puzzles is the name of the game. You got to, the level itself is the puzzle that you need to traverse. It looks fantastic, and the whole thing revolves around this kid-like spirit with this thing dealing with, death and afterlife and life and all these things. So powerful themes. Again, I believe the group was saying it took them 4 years to get it done. It looked great to me, and I cannot wait. And that is out today. So if you guys are watching the trailer and you are interested in it, go check it out because it is out now.
Yeah, it looked really good. Like I said, anything that is similar to Ori is always going to be good, but it had enough to where it is going to be its own good game. It had a really cool slowdown feature that just looked
awesome. I love good, when good mechanics are done correctly. That's what defines the game.
Mm-hmm. And if it's based on the afterlife, I'm in.
Yeah, how many Hades and Souls and mysticism, all that stuff.
This thing was lined up for me.
So yeah, it was a really good show, guys. We don't have time to go through all 20 plus games, so go check it out. Those four stood out.
It's worth your time.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the 23 minutes. I think it was a very well and properly done showcase. Moving into ripping it up. Do you want to go first, or would you like to go second?
I can. Mine's easy. Not a lot of news going on. So be ready for this. EA Access is now known as EA Play.
I'm out.
So yeah, when I was looking at the news, I didn't, not that it mattered, but didn't know it was even considered that. But so EA Play is now introduced on its fourth platform. So it was on Xbox, it was on PlayStation, it was on a PC storefront, but now it's actually coming to Steam. With the Game Pass out, it's good to have some competition. EA is $4.99 a month. I believe last time I checked, it was like 70 plus titles. So it does have some games that just aren't on the Game Pass. And if you're a fan of sports games, this is going to be the route for you. It does have some really good ones on there. Instead of Titanfall, The Battlefield, Unravel, Alice Return to Madness is on this, which is an amazing game.
Dead Space.
Yeah. Dragon Age. So, I mean, it is... I remember a couple years ago when I first got it, I was like, I'd get it for a couple months, beat Unravel, kind of just undownloaded it. But it does have a good library now. So if you're looking for other games to play that just aren't on the Game Pass, because it is, or if you're on Steam and you want to add a little bit more to your library, it's $4.99 a month. You do get a couple extra things, like if you are a member, you get 10% discounts on additional EA games. So I mean, just be wary that it is something out there that's different.
Yeah, I still have mine because mine is. It's an annual charge. It's not monthly, correct? Because
no, it's $4.99 a month.
It's but you get
$30 a year though.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, because it's not this big offensive price tag for an annual juicy price tag. Damn. Because like $40 a year is not bad for what you're getting out of it, especially if you're a sports fan, because you get everything and you get trials. Like I have my EA. Mm-hmm. You got to, and I love playing the UFC games. I beat the last 2 that were out. I got 10 hours of free play of UFC 4 and achievements roll over. So you get to start playing the UFC 4. Any achievements you get, go into it. So it's not like a beta test like the Marvel games are. Yeah. You're actually going to play the game, sample it, and then you can choose to buy it. And then I'm sure in a year when it's on there, you'll get it. So yeah.
Oh, the Mass Effect series is on
which there. I mean, they're rumored to be remastering.
But yeah, I mean, it does have a solid lineup. It wasn't what it was 3 years ago. I think if you're looking for anything else, just take a peek at the library. I mean, $5 a month. Give it a month. That's back in the day. That's cheaper than renting a game. You could beat in a month. You could beat 2 games. Same scenario. So that's how I kind of.
I have mine and I like it.
It does also perk. It does transfer with home Xbox too. So Christian has EA access, and I'm his home Xbox. I also can have it right now because of that.
Oh, nice.
So it does double up.
Good.
So if you're gonna do it with a buddy. $250 a month.
So it's like the Game Pass or Xbox Live or something like that.
It does.
Because I thought for a while that one wasn't rolling.
It wasn't, but
now
for
it
some
is.
reason I'm playing. Yeah, I can.
What were you playing?
Do it.
What are you jumping on there?
Oh, what?
You play a little NBA.
No, he downloaded something that came on mine, and I was like, oh, what is this? And it was
okay, cool. So it's cool that works. Nice. My riff is kind of 2-in-1. A couple commercials and trailers came out. The first one was the PS5 commercial named. The PS5 has no limits commercial just came out, and it shows this woman go. She's walking in this dark place. Things start happening around her, and she's responding to them, and it's like. She's shooting a bow, she's running away from things that are falling down, and it was kind of showing off the fact that the PS5's this new gameplay that's going to involve the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, and the 3D audio. So it's kind of showcasing that it's immersing the player into the game, and your output isn't going to be passive. It's going to be responsive to you. So you're going to be feeling more of an effect, and that's true to kind of what Sony does with a lot of their commercials. They don't really show off games, when they're showing off the system, they want to show off the system. And it was essentially just highlighting the main selling points of what they're saying the PS5 is going to do. Overall, not bad. If I'm not mistaken, it was originally in Europe, and they were translating it. So I think it just came out for North America yesterday.
Yeah, it looked good. Like, I want to see what it does more as far as the features. When it said "see with audio" and you just hear like that boom, and she like looks over, like I want to feel that in the controller. Like, I'm dying to know what that feels like. So it made me look like these are features that Xbox doesn't have. So I mean, that I want to know what it's like. I want to play one. I want to test it. It looked good for first commercial. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because things like that can go sour quickly, right? The Wii used to have that. The Wii would do that, and like even though I loved it, like if you were playing Johnny Touchdown, No More Heroes, or I think it was No More Heroes, something like that, with Johnny Touchdown. You guys tell me what the name of the game was, and you get he's an assassin. He's number 11, and he has to work his way to the top 10, become number 1 again. And when you're the Wii controller, not the nunchuck, but the Wii part, it would ring as a cell phone, and it had a speaker, so you'd have to listen up, and they would talk to you. And I was like, dude, this is fucking
I always liked the
awesome
PlayStation controller, because even when you're playing Uncharted, there's like something in.
Yeah, the speaker that's built in will say some things.
I love that shit, man.
Right, and it's cool if it's done right, because it can go south real quick. And I think Xbox is past like gimmicks for their shit
kind of stuff. But
coming from the guys that made the Kinect. So that one came out. The other one, guys, was the new Black Ops Cold War, the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War trailer that's done by Treyarch this time around. Mm-hmm. And essentially what they were kind of showing off is that there's a KGB detective, I believe his name is Yuri. He's claiming that there's a Soviet spy, codenamed Perseus, has infiltrated the Western, USA essentially, and it uses some real footage from back in the day, and it says, know your history. So they're kind of grounding this game in our actual facts and timelines. So I really like that. No real gameplay unless something's come out since we've been doing the show or after. The first one is just kind of them showing clips of what it was like back in the day when we were going the Cold War with Russia.
And so it's all based on true events too, and it's like there's 3 steps we take down. Blam, blam. It's like then the pandemic, and it's like, well, shit.
It's
like
just scary stuff to think about in retrospect.
And then it's like, don't let history repeat itself. So it just resonates kind of when you watch it, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, it looks good. And Andrew, he'd be like, Andrew would say, I saw that you've been playing Call of Duty recently, and I have been. Dante actually is the one.
They all fucking have. So I had to re-download everything.
So a couple of last episode when Andrew, or 2 episodes ago when Andrew was saying like this 73 gig or whatever thing's ridiculous and you blah blah blah, I'm like, it can't be that bad. I just started reinstalling it. Jesus H Christ, it took forever, and I didn't mind it because I was playing Halo while I was waiting for it to jump in. But I don't care for battle royals. I think that part was because I played it was dog shit. I've been having a lot of fun with gun game. It's like first to 18 kills, and every time you get a kill, it changes your gun. And I really want you. Everything's installed on yours?
It is now.
Okay, then maybe later today we'll get some games. Yeah. So if you're looking for us on Xbox, Zeus928, Hades928.
Mm-hmm.
That is the end of the ripping series. So let's get into real quick before we get into questions. Is Gino, what are you playing?
What are we playing?
Hey, what are you playing at?
So, real quick, I did just beat Journey to the Savage Planet. Real quick, kind of zany little...
Is that the game you were playing that you
had to do? Space exploration game. I highly recommend playing it. And if you have a buddy or a friend or a girlfriend, I highly recommend playing it 2-player. It's that kind of game that you guys can play together. What we're playing now, though, is Pathfinder Kingmaker. Okay, so we just bought that. Very into Dungeons and Dragons.
True tradition port.
Yeah,
awesome.
I've played Neverwinter. Played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Played the remaster recently in January. Beat that. So it has those same kind of mechanics as far as the controller, your teammate. But in the first couple hours, it has some things that just truly stand out. So when you're building characters and you're putting in skill points, in older games you have to do like magic lore, arcana, you have to do like dexterity, athletics. None of that shit really gave. This game though, it literally uses every single stat that you have and puts it into the game. So because I remember like they were telling me to athletics, and it doesn't matter. I did something, I didn't pass an athletics check when I was trying to do something, and it failed, so I had to find a different way to like get around this. So your lawful neutral, like your alignment plays a huge part. So like even
awesome.
The first couple hours, this game stands apart from any of the other Dungeons and Dragons games that I have played, which makes it even better. So looking forward to just knocking this thing the fuck out.
I'm really, because you just beat Baldur's Gate 2 and 3. 1 and 2.
So okay, so we bought the remaster, played it together because
we're used to the PS2 version.
We like the PS2 version, dual player, hack and slash. You can kind of cruise through it. The Baldur's Gate remaster is the old PC game, so he kind of fell off it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I had a lot going on.
60, 70 hours. I just like dumped into that game, playing 1 and 2, and this game I see myself kind of doing the same.
Yeah, and who turned you on to it? Who called you out? So it's on my radar as a motherfucker. I saw it because I played some Pathfinder and I really enjoy it. It's kind of like a 3.5 edition rules for D&D with some tweaks to it. It looked good. But I think I told you about it originally. We had a month or 2 to go. I'm like, dude, just keep your eye on it. And then
and then I was sitting in my chair and he's like, you can pre-order it now so you can download and you'll be ready on Monday. And I was like,
another golden way, which is why I love digital. It's like, dude, digital is just so convenient. Because there's been an argument, and I don't mean to like go off topic, but disc, hard copies, media, and stuff like that versus digital. I'm a fan of both. Keep both. I don't mind it. But a lot of people are arguing the $60 price tag. Well, and I think I was on one side of the fence once upon a time, but now I'm kind of different on it. Where if you're only getting digital, you're not getting anything physical, then it should be cheaper. I think I was preaching that for a while. Check episode like 5, 6, 7. But the more I think about it, I'm like, well, what you're gaining is convenience. You're getting instant downloads. You don't have to get out of your fucking house, go to your car, go to a store that may or may not have it in stock. Digital is always in stock, and it's I can sit in my room. So I think the price is respected at $60 until it moves up for next gen as being one and the same.
Yeah, you create the disc, you get whatever, but they still put hundreds of hours into this game. I got no problem on a good game spending $60 whether it's digital. As an adult now, some of my collection is here. I don't have the room. I was able to, when I built my house, get a little game room going. Every inch is used, much like his game room, and being digital is able to let me do a little bit more on comics, a little bit more on some other things. But I do like the physical. I appreciate the retro stuff. Some of it's here, some of it's at my house. So, but I respect both. But I do really enjoy having digital options on a lot of things. And with this the thing where you're able to download the Xbox thing where you can play on your phone now, like that just is.
Oh, the xCloud,
all that stuff. All that's just gonna be blows me away.
We're gonna see some big changes here in the next few years. So that's what you were playing. Was there anything else? So what I've been playing, guys, is Andrew, and if you guys want to check his review out, it's on our Instagram at LastCall Productions. He beat Paper Mario and the Origami King. He let me borrow it. I'm having a really good time with it. A couple gripes, I won't dive into it, but the gameplay's fun. The fighting, the more I'm playing it, the combat system, I'm liking. I'm not loving it. I don't think it beats any of the old traditional leveling up style of gameplay, but it's not bad. And so I'm coasting through that. I just started Far Cry 5. Me and a buddy of ours, Denny Sixberry, we both beat Far Cry 5 roughly around the same time, and we picked up New Dawn. So I've been playing New Dawn.
Oh, I thought it snapped.
Dude, yeah, it's awesome. And then on PlayStation, I'm playing. That's a game on every system. Yeah, Origami King on Switch, Far Cry on Xbox, and then I'm loving Fall Guys on PlayStation. Now, you've got to play it, but you gotta get a game in. It's fun. Andrew, when he was over here last time, I made him play it. He had a blast. So,
Cheddar Bob on our channel, he's been streaming it. I think his wife's been playing it too. So, like, it looks fun.
It is. It's a blast.
I'm gonna play a game here, and if it's good, because I have a PlayStation 4 for the exclusives. Like, I play those games. I don't have a PlayStation Now subscription. This game's good, and everyone's playing.
PS Plus. PS Plus is the online.
This might be a reason for me to even jump on board for $6 for the year. Might as well jump on the bandwagon.
It's really not hurting you. If you can afford it, I'm having a blast because you can't play Fall Guys without PS Plus.
Yeah,
like, you have to have it. So. Check it out, guys, because
I can't play Legends without a PS.
You can't play Legends, bro. So let's move into video game questions of the week. The first question comes from Gino Perales, because he wrote it before he knew he was going to be on the show. So I'll read it, and he can maybe elaborate or explain, or at least give what his thought was of the question. Question: when is enough? I get that game studios delaying games for the reason of making them better is a great excuse, but how many times do we have to go through this shit before we stop believing release dates altogether for these AAA titles? Boy That Cried Wolf scenario comes to mind. Like, I planned on taking a couple days off for Halo when Xbox dropped. Luckily I can reschedule, but was but was really looking forward to it. They burned me 5-6 more times, and I'm out of here. Keep up the good work. And when is that hunk Gino getting back on that show? Well, your prayers are answered, sir.
Little did they know.
Because here you are. So elaborate a little more. Like, what is it? Was it just Halo not being on Xbox? It was the camel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
the camel that broke the straw's back.
Yeah, I know we were talking about it a little bit ago. It's because I'm at the point now where I actually did schedule a couple days off. I'm like, cool.
People are finally listening to me.
Launch, do that, and I'm at a spot in my thing where it's like I can easily, hey, I can't do it. There's a lot of people who can't. You know, if there's seniority, and you got to put your vacation time in.
These are planned vacations.
Yeah, man, and it reconciled with me. So I'm like, well, fuck. You know, how many more of these do we have to go through to where we just don't listen to it anymore? Like, is it 5 more? Is it 2 more? Is it 1 more? I think now I'm at the point where like they have to give me 2 good games actually launching for me to even consider these being a day. So I'm just not going to plan around it. I'm not going to care about it. Like, hey, three more months. You know, it's getting to that point for me, unfortunately. And you can't argue the excuse because I want the best fucking game that I can get. It's just let's get a little more on track with what the fuck we're trying to say and do, because it got to the point where it actually pissed me off. So
can you give me a club? I'm going to just mirror what he said, because I've been saying this for a while now. If you guys are watching, old school fans of the show, I hate this whole thing of being, let's announce this game and get hyped for it, and then there's not been one big AAA game this year, correct me if I'm wrong, that has not been pushed back at some point. Like, every game has been like, oh, this game's coming out, it's going to be awesome, we're going to blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, no, 3 more months, 2 more months. And at a certain point, just tell me when the game is fucking ready. Like, do not keep saying this. Like, an Xbox, Halo is a kind of an unfortunate scapegoat, because they were using that to sell the system, and they had to push it back. And again, I'm not hating the fact that you have to push your game back if you need the time, because I get that these guys have requirement marks of what dates they have to get done, but it's like, and I appreciate that they're giving us as much notice as they can, but there's no way that you're telling me that when they just showed the Halo showcase, that then when they were broadcasting it saying, hey, here's the Halo game, here's Halo Infinite, that you didn't know the game needed 6 more months. Because now it's pushed back to 2021, and 2021 is 6 months away.
Do you think, because it came back, because Mandrew was the advocate for that. He's like, no, this game doesn't look ready, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, what? They didn't put anywhere on that thing that said, hey, beta testing, whatever. They had to come back and say that.
Because it got shit on by fans.
That's what I'm saying. Was it really, or was it so shitty that they had to go, now they're going back, and that's what got it pushed. But like, people like...
That's one example, but what about Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
What about the Doom Eternal? Like, they didn't get showcased and people bomb on the graphics. Yeah. It just got pushed back.
And people like TK, who that's all he plays is Halo with us, like, he's not going to buy it day one anymore.
Yeah,
and it's because of this, which is really unfortunate. It's going to come. We're all going to play. It's all going to be fun, but it's like, what a bummer. We were all looking forward. What about TK and his Halo?
Sorry, Craigie, no Halo this year. We've got to fix the graphics. Fix this! Yeah, so I've been saying it for a while. That was perfect. I've been saying it for a while. Just stop giving us dates. Stop teasing us with these tangible dates when every big thing has been pushed back.
I'd like to see, hey, it's going to come out in December. And they're like, fuck you, we got ready in November. Like, come out early. Give me a couple
surprise
of those.
Us. Because Ghost, I'll be mad. If Ghost doesn't gets pushed back to 2021, then it's like, why the fuck did you announce it? So
their 5-month precedent is over.
Hey, Sucker Punch is gonna have to answer to the big dog if shit like that happens. So moving on, guys, and let us look. And again, the questions.
I am salty.
The questions and a little breezy. You're a salty sea dog. The questions are for fun, guys. We like having fun. Jump down in the comments, leave your response, because half the fun after doing the show is engaging with you guys.
Yeah.
So speaking of engaging with fellow question writers, Andrew Montemayor wrote us a question. You know that one guy that used to be on the show? Here he comes. Dear Darla, what's your one big backlog game you should have played by now but keep putting off? For me, I feel that's Nier Automata. Love, Man, Mandrew.
Mandrew.
I had a thing in my head, but I will let it go. No, fuck you, Andrew. How is that game on your backlog? Like, that game is, like, only been on the Game Pass, because I know you're playing on the Game Pass. I know you didn't buy a physical copy. That game's only been on the Game Pass for, like, 3 months.
Yeah, but it came out last year.
Right, but he didn't buy. That's what I'm saying. He didn't buy it. It's not like he bought it and has been sitting on it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
You know, how long has it been downloaded? You're like, but again, to your defense, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Is I know you only play the big games at a time because you're mainly an online PUBG guy, Call of Duty guy. So I do want to know what Andrew's backlog is. I want to know
nothing.
I want to know because where's the Yakuza game? Like, I want to know what's on that list. Hey Andrew, I'm looking right
Email me
at
the
you.
list, buddy.
So okay, so backlog games. I've actually got 3 different games on all 3 systems. The 3 big
bragging or complaining?
Complaining and bragging. So if you don't have one, because I'm better than you, and I know it,
and we know it.
On Xbox, I've tried, and Andrew's been on the headset with me, with Cameron Bristow too. I've tried Fallout 4 several times, and as much as I want to play it, there's nothing I find offensive about the gameplay or anything like that. I like that style. I get to the point where you gotta start building up like towns, and I'm lost. I don't care
that aspect of any game.
I've started Fallout 4 3 times. I'm just like, once I get them, is that MASH? Yeah, it is. And that's the MASH intro. And so the game on the Switch that I've been wanting to play that's stuck on me is Zelda Breath of the Wild. I bought it the day I bought my Switch. I've started it. CN's even showed me.
Wait, you own it?
Yeah, it's right there. I own the hard box, baby.
Jeez Louise.
I own the one that comes with all the fixins.
All the goodies.
So it comes with like the book, the bonuses.
Hey, maybe this will be my first Zelda game.
Yeah. Oh, God. And you bite your tongue. And CN has even like showed me tips and tricks and like how to get the game going faster. I haven't. And then on PlayStation, because I always put games next to the system when I'm playing. I haven't finished the Uncharted series. I've beaten 4. I've beaten 1. I've never finished 2. I've started 2, and I haven't finished 3. So those would be the 3 across the board that I need to get done.
I will give you one game. I remember going to GameStop a few years ago. Did some trade-in. Even Christian gave me part of his trade-in so I could get it. Final Fantasy 15. I was all hyped to play it. Just for some reason, never got around to it. Now it's even on the Game Pass. Like I even have the collector's edition at home. It's on the Game Pass. Every time I go through stuff, it's like hitting me right in the face. So I know you're there. I even played Final Fantasy 8 and 9 before I played 15. And I bought that game way before. So like that's one that's just kind of like staring me in the face. Always, always, always.
So yeah, so leave us guys your backlog and we can have, because half the fun is telling the story. God. Is being like why you haven't played it. Are you dreading it? Are you stuck on something? So that's a fun question, Andrew.
Playing it alphabetically now this year, I won't be even touch it till next year.
Explain that to anyone that doesn't know what that means.
So this year I wanted to be a little bit different because it gets me kind of out of my comfort zone. Is I'm playing alphabetically. So I started with A, and I'm going to be, and right now I'm on Pathfinder, which is P. I just beat Journey to the Savage Planet, and I'm also simultaneously playing the Dungeons & Dragons Knights of Pen and Paper. So that's going to be my P game. So F is long and forgotten. It'll be next year before I do touch it again, but right, it's on that backlog, and there it might stay.
I'm trying to see what his X game is. You know what that is?
I think XCOM is on the Game Pass. So the Game Pass has been great for that. That's why I played Indivisible. There's a couple good games that are on there, and I think they have every letter except for like 2, like Q or something.
I think they're both vowels.
Can I buy a vowel?
So next question comes from Sheila T, and she says, "Awesome, man." So Sheila T, if I'm not mistaken, wrote her last question was, at least I get was, who are your favorite Disney voiceover?
The Raticates. The answer. Yeah. I concur with Mandrew.
Wait, the Raticates?
The Sonic and the...
No, that was the Pokemon question.
Yeah.
Then she asked, the second question was, what were your favorite Disney voiceovers?
Yeah, but he answered that no, they're just Raticates. Like, they're basic, normal type.
God damn.
Which I thought was hilarious.
She goes, we agreed on Lee Salonga. And I love that answer.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Because her voice is beautiful, and she did Jasmine and Mulan. So yeah, she's one of the few people. She's the only two-crowned princess.
Two-crowned
in the lineup. So her next question, food's the category, and it says, "What's the weirdest or strangest thing you do when you eat something or prepare to eat something? Thanks, you guys are fun to watch. Make more stuff." So. Any other day, if Andrew was here, I'd be curious what he eats.
I'm dying to hear his answer.
Probably something weird with like ketchup or mustard.
I feel
or
ours
something.
is the same.
Yeah, ours. we're the original, and ask any of our friends, people that put syrup on their pizza.
Yes, sir.
Syrup on the pizza.
I can put it in my hair.
What do you think keeps it up? Slick. And this is way before Vince Vaughn was doing it. He kind of popularized it, and now when
I don't
people
think he popularized it.
I'm saying more people are familiar with it. Like they know the concept. Oh,
I do this at work and get hate.
Yeah, and
Get hated at.
it stems from our dad doing it, and it's just when this is how traditions and lore and things start within families. Like if someone's doing it that's older than you and it's normal, then to you
And
that's
cool.
and cool. Oh, dad's doing it. I want to. Then it's normal. To you, it's not anything different.
When we were growing up, we didn't know people didn't do this. We
Yeah,
just thought,
you always
we
think
thought
that.
everybody did. Till like junior high, and they're like, "What the fuck are you
Yeah,
doing?"
because when you're a kid going to the lunchroom, they don't serve syrup, so you never ask for it. You just eat pizza regular. But as soon as people start coming over to your house for WrestleManias, and mom breaks out the Buttersworth, and now you're the weirdo doing it. Try it before you knock it. It's
I
fantastic.
compare it to chicken and waffles. It's sweet. It's salty. I mean, it's much better than you think it is. My father ate it. I ate it. My goddamn kids are gonna eat it, and it's gonna stick like that.
Yeah. Anything else outside of that do you do that I'm unaware of? I don't really do anything.
Not as an
weird.
adult. I used to only eat spaghetti without spaghetti sauce, so just noodles. Remember, she used to make me a separate thing. I don't do that anymore.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? No. She would always make a separate little noodles.
Noodle. Hey, we noodle folk. I've never known that.
Oh yeah, not anymore. You got
it acquired. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's
hilarious.
probably the one that even now I get, will always get like, what are you doing? Or
Sauceless spaghetti.
yeah, I guess they just call that noodle.
I can't think of it. Did I ever eat anything weird? I remember I'm a picky eater and I wouldn't eat certain things, but I don't think I've ever done anything that was untraditional outside of putting syrup on my pizza.
I mean,
that noodle thing.
I'm a picky eater anyway, so it's real hard if I'm like for me to do weird things on food. Like it's just not there.
Yeah. So excellent question, and
I like it.
Yeah, leave your answer down below. Next is Sammy G. Hashtag round 2. Oh, let's see. Oh, what are you guys gonna buy first? The new Xbox or PlayStation? Also, are you guys gonna do an unboxing of what you buy? Xbox, I think, is the unanimous answer.
Xbox is the unanimous answer as far as what we're gonna buy first, but I would also say with the projected prices of what that is and the digital version, it might be a day one on both of them for me, honestly.
Yeah,
but if I had to pick one, it would always be, at least now, be the Xbox.
Yeah, the rumor is that anything that needs a disc is gonna be $4.99. Anything that's digital is gonna be $3.99. So when the expectation was originally $600 a piece, over $1,000, it was buy one, wait later. But if I can get them both under $1,000 before taxes, then I might get them both day one. But if I had to pick, and Xbox would be the one. Unboxing, maybe. I know we're trying to do some more unboxing videos, but I like to reveal content of the unknowing. Where the Xbox, you know what you're getting. You're just looking at it, and tons of other guys that are bigger than us are going to be doing that. So I'm not sure if that's going to be worth time, but I know all of us are getting one, so maybe we'll do one. And if it comes out kind of cool, maybe we'll post it. So let us know what you're
content.
getting. Next question comes from Daniel Backstrom, and he says, another great episode, guys. That's from the last episode. 2-part. 1, favorite Final Fantasy game, and 2, favorite party from that game. Hashtag round 2 fight. My favorite Final Fantasy is, without a question, Final Fantasy 7. I have a whole little section set up in my game room that it revolves around Final Fantasy 7, so that's easy. And then the party would be Cloud. I always thought I liked playing Vincent as a kid because he's just the cool kind of vampiric kind of guy.
Fuck yeah.
But he's a little wild with his his limit break. Jeez. Oh man, that was an insider. But his limit breaks are kind of off the wall. I've after replaying it, and I'm not talking the remake. After replaying the original port, Cloud, Sid, and Barrett would probably be my answer.
Final Fantasy VIII is gonna be my favorite. It's like any team is good, but usually for me it's got Squall, Irving, and the Sorceress. Don't know why. Just as a kid, that's what I played. I still like it. But I'll even say that as far as Final Fantasies go, I'd probably go like 8, 10, 5, 9 as far as that.
What, are you ranking them?
Real quick, and then
you haven't played 12 though.
I haven't, or 15.
Fuck.
But yeah, 8, and then Squall, Irving, and Sorceress.
Nice. All right. So Daniel, because Daniel's our last winner of the contest, and Congrats. He actually he had to pick his game. He chose Final Fantasy VII Remake. bought it. I know he has it now. He's playing it. So I'd love to hear what your favorite Final Fantasy is, as well as your team. So next question comes from Philip Gazer, and Philip Gazer is a name I recognize.
I respect that name.
Yeah, Philip Gazer is cool. I've seen him in the chat room, and he's on our Instagram. So Philip Gazer, big shout out to you, man. Appreciate that you're still hanging with us. His question is round 2. Here's a question that I would find interesting based on what your pick. What is your all-time favorite game? Also, what is your favorite color? Now, you might have gotten a different answer if Andrew was on the show with me, but collectively, Gino and I both agree that Super Mario RPG, right? Super Mario RPG is our favorite game, and that's on the Super Nintendo, and that was back when Square was doing it. It's an excellent RPG. So I'm going to tweak your question a tad. This is our favorite game. I'm almost positive his second favorite would be Final Fantasy VIII, and mine would be Final Fantasy VII, and we just talked about it. So what would be your favorite game outside of those?
Outside of those, I'll give you a twofer. If it was if it was gonna go retro, I'd probably say Donkey Kong Country 3. I just remember like buying that game, loving that game, like with my own money, as a kid. And DK1 for that matter too, but DK3 just holds like that perfect spot for me. If I was gonna go more new school, Mass Effect 2, man, when I played that trilogy, it was so good, and 2 is like for me the pinnacle of what that series was and what a good RPG should be about. Nice. Those are mine.
Excellent choices. Mine, if I had to pick one outside of that, would be the new installment of God of War. So if you guys know anything about God of War, they originally were on the PS2. I've beaten them all. I never played the PSP one, which I think was Ascension, which I think is now on PS Now. So you can actually play it if you have the PS4. And I don't really consider handhelds must-plays if they're not in the core series of the game.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kingdom Hearts. Just Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3.
Independent games, yes, are must-plays, but not continuations of the story, those kind of games.
But not when they're exclusive. Like, that game is only on the PSP until now.
Fuck that.
So, that's my favorite game. I'm not big into buying, like, bundles of consoles or anything like that. I get what it is, and I take it. I bought the God of War one, which came with the steel case book, the statue, all kinds of little goodies of it. I love the adventure of Kratos, and like we were saying earlier, we're big fans of Greek mythology. The whole trilogy is based in Greek mythology, and they don't call it God of War 4 because it's kind of almost like a renewal of the series, kind of starting.
It's a hybrid of what it is.
Right, kind of moving into what it is, and now they're moving into Norse mythology, which we also fucking love, and it's a great fucking story of father and son with the best, in my opinion, fighting mechanics. Like, it is fantastic.
It's a system seller. If it was coming out today on PS5, that would be a reason you would buy the PS5 day one. Like, it's that good of a game.
Yeah, it's and if you guys are interested, there's actually a behind-the-scenes making of the game on YouTube that you can watch. I don't know the name of it. Me and Andrew talked about it episodes ago. It's great. So, and then the other one was, what's your favorite color?
Oh, favorite color, red.
Blue.
And then I based a lot of that on when I was a kid. Raphael was just my favorite.
And I'm Leonardo.
Turtle as a kid. Donatello is now, but like red will always be my favorite color. Red lightsaber. Yeah. I have two. So.
Hey, it's blue for me, guys.
How about that for you?
Don't worry about it. It's all last questions, Buster. The last question comes from SM James 90. Right. Do you guys think the heartbeat in the gas cloud out in space is Galactus? If not, then what is your thoughts? Could a black hole be on the way? So I had to look into this because I wasn't sure at first what she was talking about, because I know who SM James is, Sammy. And looking into this thing, let me see if I can pull it up here. So if you guys are unfamiliar with it, check this shit out. A cosmic gas cloud has a mysterious gamma ray heartbeat that appears to be in sync with a neighboring black hole. Now, the funny question is it Galactus coming? And so if you guys, no one knows who the comic book villain Galactus is, he comes and devours worlds. The other cool comic book thing is that it's a gamma ray. Of all things, if any ray it could have been, it's the gamma ray.
It's gotta be gamma.
Gamma ray is what turns Bruce Banner into the Incredible Hulk. So, very comic booky sounding.
It is, man. It's amazing.
But the fact that there's something in sync with a black hole, and we've never heard of this before, is scary.
Yeah, to answer the first part,
because we don't know what it is.
I don't think it's Galactus, because mine isn't a cloud. Mine is a huge sentient being.
Yeah.
How tall?
An Earth wide.
Huge. I picture him as the face. The movie, the Fantastic Four movie made
40
him
miles.
Made him a cloud. So I get that. Could it be a black hole? I mean,
I don't know if it's a black hole because we know how to identify a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
What it is something that we've never seen before, and we're trying to figure it out. And it's weird that it's in sync with a black hole, but to my knowledge, black holes don't have rhythmic like heartbeats. This thing is just on some sort of wave, just in sync with the way this thing is fluctuating in space and time.
The other thing the article said is these things are 100 light years apart. So even if they weren't somehow in sync, the distance shouldn't allow it to be happening.
Sense.
So I want someone like Brian Shockley to like just drop some more knowledge on me, because he might not know about it, but I think he knows everything. So like, talk to me intelligently about what this thing is, and I'd love to hear about it.
This is something that, if it hasn't already, it needs to be on like Joe Rogan with like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, and I want to hear him, because he's a fun. If you guys aren't familiar with him, watch him. He's the best way to learn about science.
Oh,
and I would love for him to explain this, because as far as I know, this is fairly recent. And I'm sorry we can't dive into it because we just don't know. I haven't taken astronomy since I was in college with Romy and Jack. Like,
so you failed astrology, so what?
I always get astronomy and astrology, two different things. But yeah, I haven't had astronomy classes in a long, long time, and even back then, it wasn't telling me about fucking things, gas clouds in sync with black holes.
Dude,
scary stuff. So thank you for the question, and definitely jump in and let us know, because you sound very more educated on it than we are. Let us know what your thoughts are.
It's cool to read articles like that, so even if it's not game based, like throw it at, because like this opened my window. I didn't know anything like that.
Yeah, and
I love reading that.
I'll leave a link in the description that pulls up an article based on it. So if you guys want to read on it, you definitely can. So guys, we do have the contest going out. So we are giving away a game of your choice on the system of your choice. How do you enter? I'm glad you asked, because what you do is every episode that we have that pertains to the contest, you need to drop a comment in each episode saying #round2. Every comment per episode is an entry. And at the end, we're going to grab one entry from each episode, put them into a hat, pull it out of a hat. The winner, we're going to buy you a game. So this is the last episode to do it on. The next episode you watch, Andrew and I, if he's back, if he's ready, I'm not entirely sure what he's up to, we will announce the winner. And that's all you got to do. But you got to make sure you like, you got to make sure you subscribe. Now, guys, if you want to follow us on Facebook at Last Call Productions, follow us on Instagram at Last Call Productions, follow us on Twitter at LastCall PureODZ. If you guys are interested in the audio-only podcast of this show, then you can catch that on Castbox, Apple iTunes. You can watch it on, or listen to it on Spotify at Last Call Gaming. Other than that, Gino, any social media you want to plug for anyone to find you?
Nope.
He's off the grid. You guys want to follow me? I am at Craig Perales on all social media. So
no, I'm Gino Perales on Facebook, Bell Gino on Twitter, Hades928 on Xbox. Again, love to play with any of you guys.
Follow me.
Give me a reason to jump back into Halo. Give me a reason to do this.
Please.
Love to play with any of you guys. Love to interact with you guys. This isn't normal for me to jump on this show. I'm glad to be able to pick up the mantle anytime Mandrew has to go take her business, or maybe one day me and Mandrew will do the show. So
get rid of the dead weight.
Yeah, just you get part of the worst part of the show. But yeah, a lot of fun. Love being up here, guys. I love reading you guys' comments. You know, I'm a fan just as much as you guys are, so I love going through it. I love asking the questions. I love seeing what you guys write and doing that. So just keep it up. It makes a big difference.
Keep it up. And hey, guys, if you guys want to leave a question, I guess I've never made it entirely clear. Leave a question about whatever you want. We'll talk about whatever as you've seen, whether it be space, food, Disney movies. So drop your question down below. You can either write it in the comment section or send us an email at lastcallproductions@gmail.com. So that is the end of this episode, guys. My name is Craig Perales, and that is Gino Perales. And until next time,
bam.
Cheers.
What your favorite ripoff is of a TV show and or cartoon?
Favorite ripoff?
I actually went down
so
like
spin-offs don't count.
Well, I went down like a list of 50, and like there's some ones that surprise you because like Yu-Gi-Oh is a direct ripoff of Pokemon, but because Yu-Gi-Oh got so popular, it's not considered a ripoff anymore. But like
Where'd you read that bullshit?
I looked up a list because I was like, well,
so then it had to have ripped off the card.
Well, let me finish.
I'm not
so what it said
I'm
was
not
like
buying
the original story was about this kid doing this and blah blah blah. But once Pokemon blew up, they completely trashed it and was like, it's a kid based on a card game doing this, and then they filled it all in and then hoping for the best.
Okay, so anyone watching Yu-Gi-Oh would not put those two references together. You gotta research it. I'm looking at blatant ripoffs.
Okay.
I'm looking at
things. 2 came up for Power Rangers.
I'm looking at like when Final Fantasy came out and Sega couldn't get the rights for Final Fantasy on their system. They made Phantasy Star. That is
which is equally, or if not, a better competitor.
But on the same level, it became so good that it's now its own thing. I'm looking at things that are like, hey, we tried to make a game and we're ripping it off, but it's now good because. Yeah, no one's going to know Yu-Gi-Oh! Based on Pokemon. Where I would say Digimon would be off
Chet
Pokemon.
That conversation because now...
Chet?
That has its own TV show spinoff. Like, it didn't get canceled in 2 series. It has its own card game. Did that become big enough to where it's its own separate thing? Or because Mon is in the name, will it always be considered a ripoff?
I would say it wouldn't if there's other things that have Mon in it. Is it because if it's the only other anime that has Mon in it,
we'll always consider it. But I think if Adeline were to see it and she watched the shows, like maybe she's like, oh, they're 2 different things. But
which one would she start with? If you started with Pokemon, and then because how weird would it be if you started with Digimon?
Well, I was just going to say, what if I started that?
And you're like, what is this shit? This is a ripoff. It's not even cool because they're not in a weird world with guys that talk to them.
Digimon and Digidactics and Digimon Auto Champions.
And now I gotta look up Digi Analytics.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because the biggest ripoff would be Deadpool to Deathstroke. And again, same thing happens. He became so popular, he eclipses Deathstroke in for the average person that's looking in comic books. We know who the Deathstroke the Terminator is first,
Crixie,
and the best. But any modern day fan would look at Deadpool and go, "Oh yeah, I know Ryan Reynolds. Who's Deathstroke? You're gonna make your new villain is Deathstroke." You know what I mean? So that's a really good one. That's blatantly a ripoff because it's Wade Wilson with Slade Wilson.
Oh Jesus!
You know what I mean?
That is blatant.
Yeah.
You know what was one that I didn't catch when I was going down this list was.
Wait, am I getting that right? Is it Slade Wilson? What's
Wade Wilson and Slade Wilson? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just to make sure.
Wade and Slade. Oh yeah, dude. They didn't give a fuck when they copied that one.
Yeah, no, because they even said that he's like a ripoff. They're like, we need a character that fits the bill. But now Deadpool is. It's not even an argument.
He's gotten too popular.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He dwarf stars fucking that Deathstroke. So I don't know.
It's a good question.
In terms of because what's the other thing? Who ripped off who when it went from Justice League? Would that be a ripoff? If you stole the idea of a team,
you would assume they would team up. So I guess.
So let's look at some other ripoffs of comics.
Well, I just watched because
obviously there's the Dark Side and Thanos.
There was the meme that just popped up, and it was Marvel Zombies, and it was a guy writing it all excited. It was Mr. Bean looking over, and then the second part of the meme is him pulling up Deceased.
Oh,
and the guy at the Marvel dad is like,
oh,
even though he came first, like because Deceased is the one I would actually remember because it's current. And some of those covers were badass. I totally forgot about Marvel Zombies, even though it's like a standalone.
Yeah, I remember putting those on the shelf for the Marvel
series, and I was like, "Oh fuck, it is a ripoff." And some of the comments were like, "Yeah, but DC did it better." I'm like, "Well, at least they're doing something better."
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other big comic book guys that are
as far as the character,
because obviously there's the Dark Side versus Thanos.
Yeah,
as your kind of being that's just all power.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of it. Though, I mean, that's pretty good.
Well, because obviously you can't have too many. Because when you look at well, what about this though? When you look at
what about Miss Marvel
The Boys
and Miss Marvel?
The Boys is a complete ripoff of every superhero, and it's awesome.
Anti and dark and
right. We're like, oh, look at the superhero.
But dark enough to well, it's not the same because it's completely opposite. So that's a good way to get away with that kind of shit.
Yeah,
unlike Deadpool and Slade.
Yeah, that's fucking blatant.
But what do you think about Baby Looney Tunes and Muppet Babies?
That's a formula they tried to copy.
What came first?
Muppet Babies.
Blatant ripoff. And when I remember watching
Muppet Babies,
it is.
Jim Henson's
I remember
the 80s.
watching the Looney Tunes.
And those were like the late 90s.
And liking it, but it's like, dude, it's a complete.
Well, was that the one that had Lola Bunny in it?
Yeah.
Because that was weird.
After Space Jam.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Post Jam. Did you see that there's a new, the first picture for the new Toon Squad jersey came out with LeBron?
Throw it up.
Let's see if we can find it. Hey, here we go.
So his face is on it, or what?
No, he's wearing the new Toon Squad jersey.
Is it white?
I haven't seen it yet. Let's see.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
LeBron.
Well, this will be interesting for both of us.
Space Jam. Oh my god.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's Looney Tunes logo, blue. I actually like it.
Um,
It's a little on the nose, but
you know, the more I'm looking at it, the more I like it.
I like it actually better. If I were to see both of them now, I'd like that one better.
Well, I guess I gotta see what the back does. Because is it like a comic book cover that's both sides?
If
it wraps, then
it's gonna wrap.
Yeah. Well, doesn't that come right where your name would be? Like if that circle wraps around? Because if it stops at the seam, then the backside starts on the other side. I gotta see what the back of the jersey. Well, fuck, it matches the shorts.
Can we get a backside or what? I feel like that's Photoshop.
Hey, not today, Gino.
It's getting worn too good.
Not today.